Is Lucy Letby a serial schmiller, a child schmurderer? Hell's no, according to a panel of international medical experts reviewing evidence in her case. So, did the justice system get it wrong? In this video, I'm going to tell you the background of this case and the recent controversies, and I'm also going to compare it to an eerily similar case from 1999. Letby, who's now 35, is serving 15 whole life sentences for schmurdering 7 babies and attempting to schmurder another 7 between 2015 and 2016. And she's already lost 2 bids to appeal against her convictions. So the chairman of this panel of medical experts, Dr. Shu Lee, told a press conference, and I quote, "In all cases, death or injury were due to natural causes or just bad medical care," end quote. So what's next? Well, Letby's lawyers will use the panel's findings to form part of an application process to the Criminal Cases Review Commission, CCRC, for her case to be investigated as a potential miscarriage of justice. So Dr. Lee is actually a retired Canadian neonatal care expert, and he said that there were alternative explanations for every single one of Letby's convictions of schmurder or attempted schmurder. So he said that the 14 experts included professionals from Canada, the USA, Japan, Germany, Sweden, and the UK. They looked at 17 cases at the heart of Letby's prosecution and had compiled an impartial evidence-based report, end quote. Dr. Lee provided what he said were highly detailed grounds, baby by baby, for each case for concluding that none of the schmurders had actually occurred. He added, and I quote, "We did not find any schmurders. In all cases, death or injury were due to natural causes or just bad medical care," close quote. During Letby's trial, the prosecution referred to the 1989 paper by Dr. Lee that looked at cases of air embolus, referring to injuries caused when air is injected into the baby's arteries or veins after staff at the Countess of Chester Hospital reported skin discoloration on some of the babies. However, in the cases Dr. Lee analysed in his paper, those injuries had happened accidentally. So the prosecution argued that one of the methods Letby used to injure or schmill babies was to inject air into the veins, and they actually used Dr. Lee's paper to back that claim. So that's the prosecution. Dr. Lee's now for the defence. However, at the press conference, Dr. Lee said that in all of the cases in his paper, air was injected into the baby's arteries and not the veins. And he said that the skin discoloration described in the paper was not possible when air was injected into the veins. So obviously quite a big discretion. To me, this has echoes of the tragic case of Sally Clark, who was accused of schmurdering her 2 babies and imprisoned, again on the back of incorrect expert opinion. By the way, I'm actually an expert witness myself as a psychiatrist, so I go to trials, court cases. I've given evidence in hundreds of criminal trials, so I know how this whole system works. In 1999, a solicitor named Sally Clark was tried at Chester Crown Court in northwest England for allegedly schmurdering her 2 babies. One died at the age of 11 weeks and other at 8 weeks. So expert medical opinion was divided at the time, with several leading paediatricians testifying that the deaths were probably natural, though experts acting for the prosecution diagnosed that the baby had been shaken to death or smothered. So here's where the case gets a bit interesting but a bit twisted. Professor Sir Roy Meadow, who was a renowned and highly respected paediatrician, I mean the dude was a professor and a sir at the same time, so obviously highly respected. He claimed to have uncovered 81 apparent cot deaths which were in fact schmurder. And he testified that the odds against 2 cot deaths occurring in the same family, like in this case, was 1 in 73 million and was only likely to occur every 100 years in England, Scotland and Wales. And he went beyond his expertise to make quite a glib statistical analysis comparing this to successfully backing an 80-1 outsider for the Grand National in 4 consecutive years. So on the back of this evidence, the jury returned a guilty verdict and Sally Clark was sent to prison. And after further examination, including criticisms from some statisticians, Sally Clark's babies were later to have found to have died from cot death. So Sally was exonerated, though tragically she drank herself to death within a couple of years. She also was targeted heavily when she was in prison for apparently being a child schmiller and was bullied relentlessly. So this is another cautionary tale, but are we seeing history repeat itself? Let me know what you think in the Schmomen section. So if you're interested in these kinds of videos related to true crime, mental illness and the crossover between the two, subscribe to my channel and go check out my other videos on TikTok and YouTube. See you next time.